What are another interesting thing I've heard you talk about in the past is, something that's always in the, out there in the conversation in the world is people's problems, right? People's illnesses, people's issues, the things that the average person needs to go to the doctor and get help with. But what I don't hear a lot of conversation about is the problems that doctors are having, the illnesses that doctors deal with, the dis-ease that so many doctors deal with. Can you speak to some of the main things some of the main dis-ease that doctors deal with within themselves, and how you think we can approach these to have healthier, happier healthcare providers that can really serve people?
Sure. Thank you for asking that question. Well, I mean, docs are people, docs are just humans like everybody else. We just chose a path of healing, and everybody has a different way of doing things. I believe that one of the challenges in medicine starts with the way we trained. It's a very competitive profession. To get into medical school, you have to really study hard, and then, literally, see how you can beat others, right? To get in. And once you're in, a whole bunch of people, usually about 100 start, and then a handful finish, So there is very competitive all along. And it used to be worse. I know it's getting better in the structure, but you have to work for many, many hours, have all these crazy shifts, have to learn all these crazy things. Okay, list of endless names and things and ways that we get sick and out, and medicines and all kind of incredible things. So it's an incredible demand with very little attention to self. So we learn just by conditioning that we're superheroes, right? That we can do everything by ourselves. Oh, no, don't ask for help. That's a sign of weakness, okay? We're loners, okay? Loners, superheroes, we do everything by ourselves, okay? And of course, we learn that we want to help. We know we do it because we want to help, right? So everybody goes before us. So we rarely say no to any request, to any request for help. Can you see this patient? Sure, let him again, and he just continues. Now, that's the training. That's who we're talking about. That's this person. And remember, this person comes with all the other pathology of how they grew up, their parents, their cultures. It's just amazing. And so imagine all that incredible mix.
Yeah.
Of course, it's beautiful people that are incredible in many other ways, but you can understand all the pressures. And now the way medicine is in the States, or has been, it's always a matter of seeing more and more people. You're seeing now more and more that docs hardly have 10, 15 minutes to see a patient. Not only that, but now they hire nurse practitioners and PAs so they can see more people, right, in their schedules to potentially bill for more. So all these crazy things, plus their protocols, plus on top of that, you have to type in a computer and stick to certain different plans of insurances and how you test people. So there are so many incredible pressures that are building on this person, right? All along, that eventually leads to what we call burnout. Burnout is that sense that you're running with an empty tank. Obviously, this person, this doctor, has been trained to be the superhero, right? That can deal with so many things. But over time, it starts running on an empty tank. Not only physical, but emotional, and then spiritual. And that's what leads to all the elements of what we know as burnout. Physical exhaustion, emotionally, you're just drained. And then you start losing that passion and compassion for your patients. So you become very cynical. Oh, so what brings you again to my consult, to my office. And you can tell that some patients, some doctors sometimes are like, again, didn't I tell you to, because they're like so emotionally drained. It's a sign of that. It's not, sometimes they're bad people. It's just they're so drained, they have nothing. Right. And last but not least, there's a moment where they just see no purpose in what they're doing. So they lose that connection with purpose as well. That's extreme burnout, which is what's leading to the suicide as well in some positions. So now the question is what to do about that one, and that's where it gets a little challenging. Luckily, there's more awareness. Most systems and not most medical schools are incorporating, in their training, support for the medical students, for the residents in the programs. Even hospitals now in the systems have also some support, to have downtime to help people deal with this stuff. The challenges, at least with the older docs now, is we're not trained to ask for help. Very few people, even now, when I've gone out to ask for, and tell people, hey, are you struggling, with what you're doing? Very few people step up and say, me, I'm having a hard time. They won't. They are having a hard time. Most of us are having a hard time, in this environment. Okay, but we will never step up to admit, very few people admit, that they have a challenge and they need help, even when they felt very depressed or even suicidal. So that's kind of my perspective on what's happened, what's led to burnout. And now the question is what to do. And the truth is, the first thing is to slow down, and it's challenging to slow down because the system wants you to keep rushing to be productive, right? So it's one of those vicious cycles, that if you're not aware and there's no support in the institutions, it gets very challenging. But that's why we keep posting. I mean, in my system, they all keep saying, "Hey, are you struggling with this? Are you struggling with that? Reach out. Come on, being here." So we're becoming more and more and more aware. But this is one of those settings where what we do in Accelerate Evolution is perfect, because it's precisely that: slow down, ground yourself. What's bothering you? What's going on with you? And allow that to guide you, and then from that place being able to serve. I was just doing that, as I told you before. I'm talking about 8 years ago. I was rushing like crazy from waking up early in the morning to one hospital, the office, then maybe come back to the office, right? And then repeat. To now, I'm blessed. I work about 3-4 hours a day. And then, sure, I answer the phone for lots of other different things, but I'm not there all the time, and I don't have all those crazy pressures that I used to have before. So that makes it, I'm blessed. And on top of that, now I see opportunities to help at a deeper level, just not even on the medical allopathic area, but in different ways, which has opened the door to different sources of income as well, which gives me an incredible power that a lot of the people that are trapped in the rat race don't have. I cannot stop. I need to see more patients, I'm like, oh, I can even stop seeing patients, and I'll be perfectly happy doing it as well, and it still will be making an incredible difference on the people I touch.
And again, what you're sharing is you're more relaxed and more effective, which is a beautiful thing. And what I hear you saying is the system keeps asking people to speed up, to where if doctors just feel like they have to keep cramming in more and more patients because the system is encouraging them and even almost forcing them to speed up, now you have less healthy results for patients and less healthy doctors. It sounds like that's creating. Do you feel like more doctors could do what you've done with your practice? Do you feel like what you've been able to do with your practice, is that because of your years of experience and now you're sort of in a position you're able to do that? Or could younger doctors start shaping their practices differently so they can have a more healthy schedule?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it helps having been around for a long time, because I've been around for a long time. So this patient that I've somehow helped in the past always refers somebody else. So there's always somebody looking for me, which is a great feeling. But something that is lost in that process that I told you is autonomy, is trust in self. When you're rushing like crazy, when you're at the mercy of circumstances or external pressures, you're not in control. There's no autonomy. With this work that we do, you regain your power, you connect, you understand that you're powerful. You understand that you have options in everything that you do. You understand that you can design your life. The circumstances don't determine you. That I have, there's no doubt in my mind, I have power over what I want to create, okay? So I love medicine, and as long as I can play it the way I want to play it, I'll be playing medicine, okay? But the moment they make it impossible, now you have to do this and stick to this and really make it impossible against the things that I want to do, I'll step out, okay? And here comes the point. So point number one, it's mostly about autonomy and trusting that at deep level. I believe that once you move out of the system, there will be a handful of people that will follow you wherever you go. There will always be people that look for X or Y doctor because it's X and Y doctor, because of the way they do things. Okay? Not even because of just the medicine X or Y. You know, not just because they're allopathic doctors or whatever it is. Okay? So I think that to answer your question, yes, I believe that everybody can do that. You need to have that self-confidence that you have power over your circumstances. I'm not planning to change medicine the way it is. It's a big complex system, way beyond what I can do. Okay? But I know that if every doctor connects with his own power, his own care for others, but more importantly, his care for himself, okay, and start saying, hey, I'm going to start moving out of here, okay, and this is how I want to do things. It is possible to make an incredible living, okay. It's even the structure of practices could change in a way where expenses are not as high as they've been, where you could just make a very good living doing what you love doing, in a smaller, but rushing less and having to make a lot less money per se. So yeah, the answer to your question, powerful. It is possible. Yeah. It is possible to do that as long as you really know you connect with that power that you have, you know, that we all have, about how we can transform our lives.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you got value out of this video, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and make sure you click the bell so that you get notifications for the next videos that we put out. We've got a lot of amazing content, videos, and interviews coming up, so you'll definitely want to get the notifications because we're interviewing some amazing people. We've got a lot of cool things happening, so you're going to want to make sure you get those notifications. And then you can also follow Embody the Practice on Facebook and Instagram. You can also go to my website, embodythepractice.com. You can contact me. You can learn more about the coaching that I offer and learn more about how we can support you to live a greater life of strength, health, and happiness in all areas of your life. So I look forward to connecting with you more. And until next time, stay strong, stay resilient, and stay healthy out there.